So in the beginning of the story, we are shown the time of 1946, where a family used to live in a house on the shore of the sea. There was a couple and their daughter in that family. Now when that family was sleeping at night, then some sounds come from their water tank. That woman's husband goes inside the tank with a lantern to see what is there. When he goes inside, he did not get anything earlier. When he was coming out, something pulls him towards himself. After that, that man did not know where he went. Now the story goes a little further. We see a couple. Ben and his wife used to sell animals together. His daughter also helps him in this work. There were many types of animals in his shop that he used to sell. When they close their shop, an old man comes to Ben, who tells that I am a lawyer and I have come to tell you about your mother. Ben's wife hears and says that Ben's mother died a few months ago, on which he says, lawyer, yes, I know this, but I have come to talk to you about them. Ben, there are some secrets of your family that I want to tell you today. Maybe your mother never told you about these things. Ben and his wife were surprised to hear this and ask him what is the secret. The lawyer here tells Ben about an old house of his parents, and says that you are the last owner of that house. Whatever you can do with him. He also gives him the keys to the house, which was on the shore. Now Ben also asks the lawyer about his dad. He says that my dad died in an accident. The lawyer says your dad and elder sister disappeared from somewhere around the same house, who have not been found till date. Your mom lied to you. Here we come to know that the scene we saw at the beginning of the story was Ben's family. Ben's dad had gone to the same tank where he went and disappeared, who had not been found yet. The lawyer also shows a newspaper to Ben, in which the news of Ben's dad's disappearance was published. Ben understood that his mom had lied to him. Ben was now ready to take his family to that house. He wanted to go and see if that place is worth living or not. The next morning Ben leaves with his family. Now when they start going through the jungle, they see a fallen tree there. They started walking ahead by parking their car there. When they reach there, they come to know that the house has become very old, which was hidden in the plants but looked lovely. Ben goes near that house and sees that someone has closed it with wood. Ben now picks up all the wood and opens the door of the house. Everyone was very surprised to go inside because that house was very big. Ben also gets his mom's old picture there, and the lawyer who was saying that he was convinced that all the things are true. Ben's wife opens the back door of that house where there was a very beautiful view. Now Ben's wife calls everyone. She sees that there is a water tank there. Ben's wife asks about that tank. She tells that such tanks were often made by old people in their homes, and then whenever it rained, they used to secure the water. They used to put a pipe of about 100 feet so that the water could go all over the house. Ben tells his wife that I go inside the tank so that I can start the water again. When he goes inside and sees, he finds out that the whole tank is completely dry, which he will have to repair. He also finds a fallen oil can in that tank. He came out with it. Now all these things started living in the house. When Ben's wife was cleaning the house, he gets his sister's old picture. He also got some papers in which it was written that Ben's sister and his dad died due to drowning, which Ben's mom never told him. Now his wife tells Ben about this. When both of them were sitting and talking, they suddenly hear someone's voice from outside. Both of them first feel that there is someone outside, but Ben tells his wife that maybe the door must have sounded like this from outside, and both of them start laughing. Then his daughter comes to him. Ben tells his daughter to go and sleep, but she was not sleepy. Now his mom takes him with her, and after telling the story for a while, she left him in the room and came back to Ben. We can see the view outside. There was smoke everywhere and strange drowning sounds were coming. Now Ben's wife came to her room and sits on the bed with her mom's diary, which now they both start reading together, in which Ben's mom wrote, "We came to this house for the first time, where we wanted to live happily. My husband called him in and got a water tank made in his house, which was very deep. Every day someone used to send a letter to my house, as if someone was warning them to leave this house. But one day my husband went into the water tank and never came back. One day my daughter also disappeared. I didn't even know where they both went. I looked for them a lot, but I couldn't find them. That's why I left this house." Ben is very sad to hear all this. He thinks that why didn't my mom tell me about all this, and where can my dad disappear like this? On the other hand, his daughter, who is in her room, feels that someone is walking on her roof. Later she feels something under her bed, but there was no one below. That's why she hears some drowning sounds from inside the floor, which scared her. She felt that someone was walking under the ground. She goes to her mom and dad and says, "Mom, there is someone in my room. You can see and check." When they both want to see, they don't see anyone there. When Ben goes out and sees, the door was open, and the lid of the water tank was also open, which was closed by Ben. His wife, who was inside, was roaming around with a lantern. She also doesn't find anyone inside. The next morning when Ben's wife wakes up, she didn't have Ben with her. She was looking for him here and there. She finds out that Ben is fixing the generator outside. When she goes to Ben, Ben says, "Now we can get light, and now our fridge will also start working. After that, I will go to see the tank now." When he goes into the tank, there was a gear there, which was running and water was coming in it. Also, when he goes deeper into the tank, he found a strange animal, whose teeth were big and the whole body was black. It looked very yellow and wet. Ben took it out of the tank, so that he could show the strange animal to his wife. When Ben's wife sees that animal, she says, "Ben, I think this is a strange kind of animal, which might live in the water." When the tank dried up, it died. Anyway, they both throw that animal. Outside their dog was standing, which was barking loudly near the tank. When his daughter goes to see, she removes the lid of the tank. She saw a strange thing floating in the water, which scared her and started screaming loudly. When Ben and his wife go to their daughter, she says, "Dad, I saw something in the water." Ben says, "No, son, nothing like that." "Why are you scared? You must have seen a fish." Then a lady comes to their house, whom the lawyer had sent. She wanted to know if Ben and his family wanted to live in this house or sell it. When the lady talks to Ben, she says, "Give us some time to think. We like this house and maybe we can live here." The lady says, "We have to tell them about this soon," she said and left. Now when she was going to her car, which was a little far from Ben's house, when she was about to go in her car could not start, and she was hearing strange noises. When she goes out to fix the car, a strange thing comes out of the bushes and attacks her. First she does not understand anything. That who attacked her. Later that thing dragged her and took her to the bushes. We can only hear the voice of that lady. And later, the voice of this lady was heard by Ben's wife while sleeping. Now when she comes out of the room to check, she sees a strange creature on her window. She was scared to see it and started screaming loudly. After hearing her voice, Ben also came there. She says to him, "Ben, I have seen someone here." When Ben goes and sees, there was no one there. The next morning, Ben starts his generator again, and then when he starts drinking water from his sink, he sees that there was no water coming there. He goes to the tank to check why there is no water coming in their taps. When he goes inside and sees, there was something stuck in the pipe. There was a stick stuck in it. Now he pulls that stick out. There was also a locket on it. Then he sees a dead rabbit in the water, which he had brought out, and he shows it to his wife. He says, "Look, I have found one more thing." He was showing his wife the same locket that he had found from the water tank. Ben's wife says as soon as she sees that locket, "I think I know about it. Whose is this?" She shows him a picture of her sister. She says, "Look, this locket is your sister's." Ben started to feel that something is wrong here. As soon as his dad and then his sister disappeared, he says to his wife, "Take care of our daughter. I go to the gas station nearby and call the police. I think there is some problem here." Now he had left with his car. Now his wife was alone at home with her daughter. When Ben was going, he saw the same lady's car on the way, the one who had come to his house. He stops and looks at the car, on which there was blood. Now when he goes a little further, he sees the lady's dead body, which was eaten by that creature. In a very scary way, there were pieces of his dead body there. When Ben sees this, his condition also deteriorated. He quickly goes to his car, and asks for help on the radio. Now he was convinced that nothing was right here. There, Ben's wife was alone. with her daughter. That's why she hears voices from below. When she goes to see, she finds someone's footprints there. Seeing this, she understood that someone has come to the house. That's why she picks up a knife for her safety. Now she gets the rest of Ben's mom's diary in her house, in which it was written that creatures live here. They killed my husband and my daughter, because of which I left this house. We come to know that the man we saw at the beginning of the story, who went inside the tank, he was Ben's dad, and at that time, the creature had pulled him into the water. That's when a small creature comes, in front of Ben's wife's eyes, but somehow Ben's wife caught him, and locked him up. Now she quickly goes to her daughter. Ben had also come there. She tells Ben about her mom's diary and creatures. Ben has been attacked by creatures who live in the tank. We have to get out of here soon. They can come again. Ben tells his wife to pack her luggage quickly. I am bringing the car. A police officer had also reached the same place where the lady's car was standing before, because that police officer had heard Ben's voice on the radio. But when he stops the car, there was also a creature in front of that police officer who attacks him. It looked very strange. He pulls him away like a snake, and eats him. Now when Ben comes to that place to get his car, Ben also sees the police officer's car there, seeing which he was scared there, and he comes back to his house, and now he tells his wife everything. His wife says, Ben, I didn't believe these things before, but now I know. Creatures live here. We have to get out of here soon. He says we will go. Creatures live in water tanks. Ben went inside the tank to kill those creatures so that he could burn all the creatures. It was very dark in the tank. There he also finds the corpse of the police officer who was killed by that creature and brought here. There a creature had attacked Ben. Ben also fights those creatures and somehow came out of his life, but he was badly injured. On the other side, a creature also reaches his daughter. He was going to break the door and pull Ben's daughter into the tank. Ben's wife tries to save her daughter a lot. The creature had taken her daughter in the tank. Now when she comes near the tank, she also sees Ben there, who was very injured. She says to Ben, "Don't worry. I will definitely save my daughter." Saying this, she went into the tank, and she also had a torch in her hand. She goes into the tank and burns that torch. There were a lot of creatures around her. She first attacks them with a rod, and then she pours a lot of soil on the fire, and attacks those creatures, with which those creatures get away from her. She had also saved her daughter. She somehow brings her out of the tank, and tells her daughter to go in the car, so that she can also save Ben. Now she had also given support to Ben, and brought him to the car. When she reaches there, a creature was sitting on his car, and wanted to eat Ben. But somehow she distracts him, and makes Ben sit in the car, and she started driving the car, but another creature was behind her, which Ben kills with a gun. Actually, she got that gun from the police officer's pocket. After that, the three of them left from there. Her life is saved. When she reached the city, she sold that house. She had understood that why Ben's mom had not told her about that house. She did not want to put her family's life in danger. After this, a scene is shown after some time. Her house was bought by a mining company, where many workers were working. When they open the lid of the tank there, she says that they will have to break this tank. Then some creatures come, and attack them and kill them. This means that those creatures were still there, and God knows how many people will be harmed. The tank was the house of those creatures. And with this, the story of this movie ends here. Thanks.